Hey VC, I'm going to tee up one more video here. This is the intro. Got a few more travel logs stuff going on, some videos on here, some more cooking videos, because I know you love those. And I got the seagulls video that I wanted, and I think you'll enjoy that. And that ends actually with a shout out to the horseflies, because as I'm finishing that, I get bit by a horsefly, and you'll see the camera go wonky, and I think you'll hear me swear and shout out as I swat the horsefly. But I will tell you the good news, I killed that little bastard. Yeah, and that was his last bite. So we'll do a few of those things and some photos, and then I'll run through the last of these records. We are about to be down in the real rural areas of Chile, and not going to be doing any record shopping for a few days here. So wanted to wrap up and give one more video, and I think we'll have one more at least from South America here, maybe two, I don't know. Stay tuned, but at any rate, here we go. Oh, come here, come here. Oh, pretty dog, come here. Yeah. Oh. Ribs again? ABC, just wanted to do another short add to the story here. We're still in Chile, headed north, finally headed back north. We got quite a ways south, and I'll detail that in terms of the names of the cities here in a minute. But you see several rivers, just beautiful color like this. And I think I've said, maybe not, I was born in Iowa, was raised in Iowa, I'm kind of a farm boy. Did tasseled, if you know what that is, and I walked beans, and I had my grandparents, a pair of grandparents on a farm, so I know a cow pie when I see one. And I wanted to accentuate the beauty of this great river with this picture of this cow pie. And no, I'm not going to eat it. Talk to you more. Okay, ahora. Ah! Ah!
Okay, más.
No. Oh! 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 Ah! Okay. You're scaring me. You're scaring me. Oh. Okay, I've barely moved. In fact, I haven't moved since the introductory thing. So I'm just going to run through about a dozen records. These are some, I think I bought all these in Santiago. In fact, I'm sure of that. These were all Santiago purchases, but I didn't get them in the first video from Santiago, so I thought I'd add these. Some of these I showed on Rachel's Ghost this morning. Shout out to Rachel's Ghost and all of my buddies there, Harry and Rob Siegel, and of course Mazzy. And I really want to shout out to Jose. He and I have been in touch, and as I asked him to kind of forward me some South American acts, and particularly some Argentinian acts, and he followed through in a big way. So part of what I'm going to do when I get there, well, I'm definitely going to be looking for those, and I will try to sort of do a scoreboard to see which ones I do find. So none of these are indigenous acts, and I've talked about that. You know, what you find in different places, it's always interesting to me, and I think it's always almost a little bit unpredictable. What I found down here is in Chile, they do have record producing plants, and they do make pressings of various records, some of them indigenous, I think a lot indigenous. They do make pressings of a lot of Western bands, and I bought some Beatles, I bought a Supremes record I showed in the last video, or in a video earlier. And, so I have bought Chilean pressings of Western, UK or US acts. These are all U.S. pressings, U.S. acts that I've got. Well, I shouldn't say that. These are all U.S. or U.K. acts. But what they do have, since they don't press those in big numbers, they do have, a community of people who likes vinyl records. And I think it turns out that obtaining these records from wherever, whether it's Japan or UK or Germany or France or other South American countries, Argentina or Brazil, you'll see some. I found some. That if you're going to get something from outside your own country, it's as easy to do that as it is to get a U.S. pressing. I have found some U.S. pressings here, right? But I think those are as hard or harder for people here to gain as import records. And I suspect, it seems like there's a theme that Japan is the most likely source for a lot of the records that they buy here. And I guess that makes sense because this is a very West Coast country. So with that said, I'm going to dive in and stop me if you get bored. So this is a record I didn't have, Aerosmith Rocks. Of course, it got Back in the Saddle and Last Child. I remember when it came out, 1976, and I must have been a sophomore in high school. This is a Japanese original pressing in very nice shape. This was $20 for that. I don't think I would find it in the States for that. Here's another interesting find. This is actually a Venezuelan pressing of Schools Out by Alice Cooper. And I liked this. For one thing, it has this little promo thing on it that says, Contiene de hit fin de clases. Schools Out. Yeah. And the other thing that's interesting about it is a standard cover. It is not the desktop gatefold cover, and certainly there were no panties enclosed with this one when it came out. But it is, and you'll see here, it is a green label Warner Brothers. So original Venezuelan pressing of Schools Out, that was like $10. I bought a couple of Santana records, and I am a Santana fan. I'm still acquiring his stuff. He is just an absolutely fantastic guitar player. This is a Japanese pressing. Excuse me, I'm getting a little choked up. not emotional, but at any rate, this is the name of the album is Borboleta. Wanted to make sure I had that right. I have a sense that Santana has quite a following here in Chile, and I said that on Rachel's Ghost today. I have been in a couple of restaurants, one in particular where they played just a huge soundtrack of his playing for over an hour while we were there. And I've noticed a lot of his records in stores. So Japanese pressing of Borboleta, and this is even a more interesting thing. I have a couple copies of Abraxas. I have a quadraphonic copy, and I have a standard U.S. pressing with the poster. Rob, the Waxed, asked me if this one had a poster. Of course, that was always at the forefront of his thinking, a picture of naked ladies. But it didn't. And it has a different cover. You see this? It's not the whole cover dedicated to, and it's not a gatefold. The interesting about this is a Brazilian pressing, and this is a mono pressing, which doesn't exist in the United States. This is a 1970, I was thinking 71, 1970 record, never pressed on mono in the United States as far as I'm aware. Maybe recently, I don't know, you can correct me. I don't think there's a promo pressing in mono, but found one here made from Brazil. That was like $10. And here's to Mazzy, a gin martini with olives made on my home deck here. And not just to Mazzy. Let's just share that among all of us. So here's another interesting record. This is Leslie West Mountain. And I have a copy of this also, a U.S. pressing, but this is a Japanese pressing again on Bell. Really cool cover, really cool album. He is an underappreciated guitar player. There he is with Felix Pappalardi, fresh from his work with Cream. And the two of them, of course, founded the group Mountain. And I think played together up until Felix was shot in the neck by his wife and killed. Must have been something going on there. I don't know. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. And I shouldn't have said that. Nobody deserves to be shot in the neck, right? At any rate, cool record. Here's another one. This is a Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young retrospective. Kind of interesting. It's a promo album. It's a Japanese pressing. It doesn't exist in the U.S. And it features solo work by Crosby, Stills, and Nash, each of them. It's got Love the One You're With by Stephen Stills. It's got Military Madness by Graham Nash. And then it has a few songs by Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Long Time Gone and Marrakesh Express. And then it does have 4 by Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, Carry On, Woodstock, Teacher's Children, and Ohio, which is the only Neil Young penned song on the record. But it's interesting. It's an interesting record. Again, one that it doesn't exist in the United States. These songs all obviously do. This was $25. That one's about the only one so far that's making me wince. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I should have held back on that. I don't know. But it's fine, and it's nice to have, and it's something I did not have. Here's an interesting record, Paul Simon, One Trick Pony, record of his I did not have. Late in the Evening and Ace in the Hole, I think, are the two big hits from this album. And this was a 1980 pressing, $15 for that, roughly. And so glad to locate that. That, again, is a Japanese pressing. Japanese pressing. And then here's an interesting record. I've only got a couple more yet that I'm going to go through, but this one I found interesting. This is an Iggy Pop EP, actually. This has a couple of songs that, he's not known for. One's a version of Purple Haze, apparently. One's a version for I'm Waiting for My Man by Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground. Limited edition of 3,000 copies. It's a French pressing. And on green vinyl. Certainly something I had never seen. This is on the Revenge label. So I think that I'm sorry, I know I looked it up on Discogs, but I don't recall, but I don't think this is a boot. I think this is an authentic French EP with some live songs recorded by Iggy and the Stooges. Here's a nice record, Ultravox. They're a band I like and didn't have this record. This is a Japanese pressing of this, an original Japanese pressing. And this was very modestly priced. I think this was 10 or $15. I don't think you'd find it for that in the States. Glad to find that one. And I'm going to wrap up here with just a few more. This is kind of a cool record too, Dick Dale and the Deltones. This is a GNP Crescendo collection. This is kind of a greatest hits collection. And it's a Japanese pressing, and I hadn't ever seen GNP label out of Japan, but there it is. And that is in mint condition. No Obi on this, but has the insert, the lyric insert as usual. Really cool. Of course, great songs on it. It's got Sloop John B. and, of course, Mr. Lou. And I collect his stuff. So that's when I probably have most of the songs. I just don't have that version. This was a record that caught my eye, Carmen AIS. He, of course, was a fantastic guitar player, played with a number of fantastic performers in the day. Beck, Bogart, and Apis, and Vanilla Fudge, and Cactus, I think, to name a few, as well as some performers where he was not a member, but just they wanted him because he's a great drummer. This is a solo album I'd never seen. This is a Japanese pressing. It's actually a sample copy, and this was $23. I couldn't pass that up. This is a record I have a U.S. pressing of that's fun. This is Black and White by the Stranglers. This actually is a record I bought back in college, way back in the day. And it's interesting, this is, again, it's a Japanese pressing, and it is on standard black vinyl, not the splattered vinyl that the U.S. pressing came out on. But it has a white side and a black side, as the original pressing did. It has custom inner sleeve, and it has a lyric poster, a little more elaborate than some. Again, it's missing the OB, but still a nice record to get, and that was $25. And this is the last one, one of the better ones to save for last. This was Futuristic Dragon by TRex. I have almost every TRex album, but I didn't have this one. And this again is a Japanese pressing with the insert, no obi, but in very nice shape. And all of these were in pretty much immaculate condition. The albums, the covers, have a few little signs of wear, but really nothing too concerning. So that's what I got. I'm watching the tide roll out here at our place. I'm going to close with a little panoramic view of that. And other than that, all I got to say is, it's not too stressful. Getting along, getting by. Don't worry about me. We're in a good place here in Chile, and hope everybody stays warm, stays well. I know there's been a lot of cold, but it sounds like there's about to be a break. Now all we need is a break in the political scene. And I, without specifying further, will just say, I just wish it was different. Peace out.